Pros Winter Cup tournament. Today, we're going to be starting off with the semi-final. We have Grandma Got Naded by a Reindeer versus Beautiful Sight. I am joined today by my co-caster, Jedi. Hello. Alright, so right now we have the semi-final. We're going to get into it in just 1 second. We're just waiting for the teams to finish writing up. So today we're going to be streaming both the semi-final right now, and then after this match is done, we're going to have a little bit of a break, make sure that our teams can get prepared for the eventual final. And so right now we're going to be seeing which one of these two teams is going to be meeting Winter Pulse in the grand finals of the Winter Cup. So we're going to be starting on Lijiang here, right? A fan favorite map pick, one of the most popular in the game. And we're actually going to be starting out on the Gardens phase. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of comps we have here, right? This is a very different point from the other two. A lot more diving, right? You have this very open space, makes it very easy to look first around in a dive. And we can see immediately that's what Team Grandma is going to end up doing, right? You're going to have Lunac on the Winston, Jokey on the Wrecking Ball, going for a Tracer Echo variant of the dive. But on the side of Beautiful Sight, we're going to actually be seeing what looks like a Rhino Wrecking Ball. Or they're going to swap over to the Zarya here right before you get out, but both teams going to be starting to move to point, and now we're going to be seeing a brawl comp versus a heavy dive comp. So it's really all going to be on Grandma here to find that engage, find that pick before Beautiful Sight is able to just kind of set themselves up on point. So right now you can see Slinky kind of getting forced out over on this right side here, dueling with the ball and the Echo. And now Beautiful Sight has kind of established himself on point. Lunac and Jokey both go in, but Lunac ends up getting sent down really low. He's going to fall to streets. And with the lamp being invested by Mew, they're now all able to stay alive. And Crash ends up dying, and so does the Echo if you can't see me. Jokey just going to be left on the point alone, is eventually going to fall. Actually is able to get out here, but with the reported going down, even with the res, it's not going to be a fight, which is going to be winnable for the side of Grandma Got Naded by her. So right now we see this Ryan and this Zarya just, holding out more towards this left side of point. The ball is going to be looking for an engage, going over through this white room, and is going to end up rolling through, not able to find too much, but now in comes the rest of his team. And Slinky already actually able to take out Crash 2 in the backline, but the res is going to come out. But it means that Lunac is very low healing, is ended up going to get dropped really low, but reported able to win the Tracer 1v1, and Zilstrel goes down to Jokey. But now there's a Zarya on the Ana in the backline, and this isn't looking good. Now so much less healing, and Streets is actually able to pin the Tracer. Jokey is able to kill Mew, and with the copy coming out onto the Reinhardt here, it's just such an even fight. But in comes a massive shatter, and even though Leroy is able to take out Okita, this might not be enough as Leroy ends up falling, but Jokey goes down. The copy ends up getting, got rid of, and Lunac here now trapped in a grab after killing Streets. And this looks like it's gonna be the fight. It's only reported left on the point, gonna use that recall and just has to blink out here. A lot of ultimates invested on both sides, and now you're gonna see the Echo actually swapped off of favoring the Sombra instead, and now into a Reinhardt going for a little bit of brawl of their own, but they're gonna keep the Wrecking Ball. You want to keep the mines, but even still, this is gonna be a pretty difficult fight. You're going into the Blade, Pulse Bomb, and the Grab here, but immediately Slinky ends up missing the Pulse Bomb, and so all of Grandma is going to be able to survive and just stabilize here.
Reported getting a lot of attention in the backline. He's in and he gets mines off.
Streets actually ends up, I think, pins off the map there, and the lamp is now dropped to try and save the Zarya, but isn't going to work. And out comes the Blade here. It takes around 5 swings to actually kill Crash, so it's only going to pick up 1 kill. Another reported kill Slinky. It's just going to be a back off from the side of Beautiful Sight here. And you invest 2 very impactful ults there in the Blade, especially, and then you also end up using the Pulse Bomb. And now you're just gonna have the shatter here, and all eyes turn to Lunac here. How is Lunac here actually? Is he gonna be able to block this shatter, or is Streets gonna be able to secure the fight off of it? Oh, but reported isn't gonna let that fight get that far, and is just immediately gonna pick up 2 early on. Massive pulse here, and just like you said, And now, this is gonna, give a little bit of time. And even though reported is going down, on that tracer pick, gonna be able to get back fast. But it still might take a second. Jokey just in the back line. Zistral actually taken down pretty low. But now, you can see that beautiful sight is starting to move at a point, and in comes the window. Fire strike sent through, gonna be a lot of damage, but not really gonna hit much. And here comes Streets. Streets looking for the shatter here. Lunikir just swinging in. Ends up not being able to hit anything. Yeah, a little bit of a questionable shatter, but now Lunikir is the one with the shatter. Is gonna be trying to see if they can thread one through. And here comes a massive EMP here. Is just gonna set up for this fight win. And now 3 going down on the side of Beautiful Sight. They're gonna need to reset here. And this is gonna be the final fight on this.
Could we see a reverse sweep on first map?
I'm not entirely sure. It looks very doable, especially now that Zistral ends up going down really late. Not gonna be back in time for the early fight. And especially when you consider how close to the blade here, right?
The amount
There's
of
gonna be a window of opportunity.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a window of opportunity.
On each side.
And no shield to come in to try and block the shatter. Immediately the Reinhardt gets nano, is just gonna go to the backline and finds 3. Just is able to get a massive shatter and just cleans them all up with the left click. Reinhardt, just professional sweeper, just, cleans everyone off the ground. And now is just gonna chase this. Yeah, Blade might be a really good ultimate, but you're not gonna win as soon as 4 of your teammates.
You're not winning that 2v6 after half your team goes down with 1 shatter.
Yeah, exactly. And now Slinky's gonna come back, might look for this Deadeye, but they're actually not even gonna be able to touch. And that is gonna be Grandma pulling away this point.
Interesting how you see the change going from dive to brawl. On a dive map, winning them the fight.
Yeah. It was very interesting too with this Wrecking Ball Reinhardt comp, right? Like, not the tanks that you'd necessarily expect to see, especially going into this Rein Zarya here. But they end up making it work, and with a couple of really big plays coming out from both Luna as well as reported with that massive 2k pulse bomb, they're able to drag that 99-0 back in their own favor.
Now we'll be seeing brawl from both sides, but a slight variation on both an Ana and a Bath. Oh, and a Brig as well, actually, coming out from Grandma.
Yeah, and Beautiful Sight opting for this Roadhog here. A little bit of a strange pick, you really have to try and find those picks. But Crash didn't end up getting to the teleporter, and is just gonna be kind of left out in the open, and ends up falling to Zistral.
Fortunate.
Yeah, but out comes the lamp here from Okita, just gonna allow Luna to swing a little bit more, and You Can't See Me is able to find Zistral with a little bit of good spam through the open doors. And now you can
more heavy brawl from Grandma due to the Zarya, giving the Ryan more advantages to go in.
Yeah, and now you can see Beautiful Sight just kind of backing off here, but the Roadhog is going to look for a flank and ends up pulling Okita off the map, and there goes most of the healing for the side of for the side of Grandma, and it looks like the Hog is actually going to be able to get out here, and while everyone was turned around, Lunikir falls in the front line, but reported with a massive 3k off of the High Noon. They sees the Ryan starting the charge, pops the High Noon, and is able to just clean up 3. But this fight is not over yet. Slinky and Mew refusing to give up, but reported is able to find a 4th on Mew. But Slinky still just does not want to lose. But reported 5 through that fight, and now that the Ryan is back, ends up pinning this Roadhog. And in comes the shield on point, is gonna try and help, but reported expert shield dancing here, but eventually is gonna fall to Zistral. And the point looks like it's gonna be kept by Beautiful Sight, but not exactly sure. You Can't See Me coming back in through with a teleporter. Jokey still on the point as a Zarya. Gonna be kept alive for a little while, but it's not gonna last too long. And even though the teleporter is still up, they're not gonna be able to get any more people out of the point. And right there, reported does just as everything in that fight. Starts it off with the early 3k, then able to take out Mew and Slinky on point for 5, and starts, doing a little bit of a shield dance, but the heroics is coming out from Slinky and the Roadhog on the side of Beautiful Sight, just really able to carry them through that fight. But Zistral takes out Crash.
Meta pick by Beautiful going into this fight.
But reported is able to get a kill on the Aurora, and in comes Zistral, is gonna look for the High Noon, able to take out Okita after that lamp is down. And Now Zistro is able to take out Lunac here as well, and now they're just playing under the point, and you can't see me able to, trade a one with Zistro before dying, but that is going to be the fight. And
Slinky getting more and more picks every single fight.
yeah, and now going into this next one though, we're gonna see another High Noon coming out from Reported, as well as a Shatter from Luna. And now with these new Sig nerfs, the 2.5 seconds on the shield cooldown, it's gonna be pretty easy to land a Shatter so long as you don't get stunned by that McCree flashbang or that hook, right? But they might be able to set up a very big, Shatter into the High Noon, but looks like they're just gonna High Noon to his own space, but, Reported ends up actually getting slept, and now Streets is actually in their backline and is able to take out Luna, and coming in with a big flux, and Slinky able to kill Crash with the dragons and finishes off a nice arrow to the head of Reported. And that was a bit of a questionable
Ways to beat though by Beautiful, by Beautiful, leading to possibly 3 ults coming from Grandma.
Yeah, and you have 3 ults here, but you still have the issue of touching, right? There's so much point pressure on the side of Beautiful, especially now that you have that Nano Roadhog ultimate going in, able to take out Okita, and even though the Roadhog ends up getting shattered, they're not going to be able to kill here, and in comes a massive self-healing. Slinky able to take over Reported, and the only person on the point is going to be the Wrecking Ball. And now Beautiful Sights is able to just sustain up front. Luna is going to start trying to push in, but the Sigma is just going to keep on throwing those orbs into the shield. And in comes a High Noon, and that's just going to be it. The point's going to be taken for Beautiful Sights. And again, you can see, the team which caps first, builds it up a little bit, then gets switched over and 100% immediately taken over the other team. And we're going to be going to cities. We're going to be going to Control Center here.
It's very interesting to see. It's very interesting to see Beautiful picking a comp with a bunch of characters that were actually recently nerfed and still taking that map very handily.
And I mean, yeah, those characters are, pretty recently nerfed, but they played them very well in the style of just surround them, right? You don't want to take that brawl. You just kind of want to play from a distance, keep on shooting into them and hopefully find a pick while that brawl goes for their long rotation. And they did exactly that. And, just really well played from them here, especially because, stopping the brawl from being able to move back in. And they're going to stick with the Sigma ball comp here. And they're actually gonna have a Doomfist. They have to play very heavily for these engages. And Street's already going in, gets taken up really low, but uses the shields to keep themselves alive. But Zistral is able to actually find Reported with a cheeky little flank from the Doomfist. And now this is just gonna be an easy push forward. Your Reaper isn't actually gonna be able to close the distance without the threat of that Symmetra and that Doomfist, beating him down. And now they can just hold here at this choke, right? You can put so much damage through, you can use those Symmetra right clicks, you can have those turrets up, you have that Sigma position. And you also have Zistro on this Doomfist just playing from this right side, looking for a punch. And Street's able to roll in, displaces Reported for a second, but you can't see me, finds a nice, Junkrat mine to kill Lavore. And now that Joki takes out Mew here, there are no supports on the side of Beautiful Sights. And Zistro, goes for a last second play to try and make something happen, but ends up getting slept with a nice, sleep dart coming out from Crash. And the point is actually going to flip over into the side of Grandma's here, as Okita is able to finish off Streets.
Yeah, Streets tried to stall, but just going into all of that close range brawl, getting stunned, getting hit by nade, they can't really do much.
Yeah, but the good thing about, the 2 supports dying first here and the Sigma staying alive is that they can hold up pretty close. But in comes a big shatter from Luna, but they're not going to be able to transfer any kills from it. And now, here comes the Flux. Gonna find Joki in the backline, but not really gonna have any follow-up damage onto that. Very far away. And you can't see me, he's able to find Zistro. You can't see me just playing from this server room on the right side here, getting ready to spam in. And even though there are mines on point, Joki could just very easily play out of them. But Streets is all the way in the backline, is able to take out Crash too. And Joki, after getting slept from you, is able to get taken out. And now in comes the Rock, killing Reported, and all of Beautiful Sights just on the point here, just swarming it, and Lunakir is not gonna live for very long. And, this is actually the first time that we've seen a second flip, on this map. Both of the other times it was ran up 100-0 afterwards. But it might not last that long. Streets falling to Reported, dies early, and now it's all gonna be up to, this Nano Blade here, if they can charge it up fast enough. But in comes the Tire just flanking around, able to kill the Lucio, so no beat is going to be available for this fight. And the Sigma's about to go down, so many people pressuring. But Zestro actually with the Doomfist ultimate is able to take so much pressure away from that Sigma as they have to deal with it. Nano Blade out, able to find 2 immediately, just pushing into the back line. Is gonna find 3 and gets a 4th. Just a massive Nano Blade coming out from Slinky here. They're able to live. They're able to keep Slinky alive long enough to find that blade. Mew hits the Nano, and Slinky just, pressing Shift and M1, able to just clean up that fight here. And now around 85%. And this is gonna be the final fight on the side of Grandma's, right? If you don't win this, that's it. And in comes early Minds and Flux. Whether they're I'm not even sure if they're gonna be able to touch the point here. They're so difficult to move in. And it looks like they're not gonna be able to. No one is even getting close yet. And even the Reported is able to kill Streets. Jokey goes down and no one can touch. That's gonna be the first map going over to Beautiful Sights.
Says Sig 9, but really nice Flux keeping them away from the point long enough.
Play of the game.
Yeah, and even the mines there too, right? You have the mines in front, they pile drive behind the choke, just everything to stop them from moving forward. And even though they are able to kill Streets there, right? It's like, it really does not matter how many kills you can get if you're just zoned off of the point. But yeah, so amazing round, amazing round coming in here from both teams on this map, right? But Beautiful Sights really just adapting to that Reinhardt pick and saying, okay, we're gonna opt for this Sigma, we're gonna opt to play a little bit farther back here, and we are just going to spam you out, right? And it's so difficult as the Reinhardt to be able to do anything in that situation, because either you just sit there and get spammed out, or you have to force some kind of engage. And running the Lucio from Beautiful Sights means that no engage can really work, because that Sigma can just get sped out of there, right? Like, you're not going to be able to get on top of that Sig. And with how well they were just, surrounding angles, just basically putting Luna on an island where just surrounded by damage coming in from all sides, like, you can't shield everything as the Reinhardt. And eventually that shield is going to break and your team is going to die. Right?
Yeah, they're taking up off angles, the timing of the ball slams. They played it extremely well.
Yeah, and some really just heroic plays coming out from everyone on the side of Beautiful Sights there, right? Just really well played, especially Slinky, with that massive 4K Dragon Blade just slicing up everyone on the side of Grandma, able to save them that fight. Even though they were down immediately, I think it was 1 or 2 picks there. Just really good plays all around the board.
We going to Hanamura, a map that I think basically everybody has picked for Assault so far this tournament, because it is by far the best Assault map.
That's just false.
Oh, what's better? What's better, Skill?
We all know that Volskaya is the best 2CP map.
No, it's obviously Paris.
Oh god, I hate Paris. Paris is... There was a while before it got banned where, every time you'd queue into a Paris game, you could really count on the match chat just being full of people shouting dodge. Luckily, there are no maps that are like that today.
Worst map in existence. Like, I'd be surprised if Blizzard ever topped it in any game. In any game ever.
Yeah.
Traveling to Hanamura.
Anyways, we're going to be heading into Volskaya here. Or not Volskaya, Hanamura. Sorry, I had Volskaya on the brain. Caused a little bit.
Volskaya.
Yeah, it's just Volskaya in the summer. Don't worry. It's got a little bit warmer. All the snow melted.
All the buildings turned into Asian-based buildings.
Yeah, they shifted out the very industrial factory buildings into nice traditional Japanese pagodas.
Why did I say Asian? I meant Japanese, yeah.
Yeah, but little bit different from Volskaya here, although still same basic principle of being that 2CP type map
with really stupid jokes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd say the chokes on this point are a little bit worse than the ones on Volskaya. Yeah, and you can see immediately setting up for those chokes, we're gonna have Grandma playing this May here.
5,
You know,
4,
a little bit of a
3,
a little bit of a pick which people don't really like to see on the enemy team, especially with that nice wall, but
Objective A.
It'll
it
be
looks
interesting
like
to see what they
beautiful
do
sight.
against Dive as a Mei. See what they'll try to cut off.
I mean, most likely probably just gonna be using, the May walls to cut healing to the tanks, right? And just look
Yeah.
for freezes. But you can't see me immediately spamming out Slinky, who's trying to take this top right high ground, ends up just blinking back to team. And in goes the Winston here, not really gonna be able to find much, but not gonna get pressured out. They don't have as much, raw damage. But Luna actually a fire strike onto the Zen down main, and Bazishal is able to take out Crash in the back line. And now there's not going to be any Ana, but Okita's still going to be on the bat. Has to lamp, to actually save themselves from this Tracer and Genji. And now that the Winston's going in, this is a very split team fight. And that's actually going to favor Beautiful Sights a lot more. And now they're able to take out Luna. There's not going to be this, main tank presence. And Joki ends up dying on point. Reported goes low and is actually naded. Probably going to get taken out here. Actually able to live for a while, and Okita ends up falling first, but Reported not going to be able to survive for very long. Tries to get a final touch on the point, but not even going to be allowed to contest for a second. But Reported now going to have the Bob putting into the second point, going into the pulse bomb from Slinky. And depending on how Slinky plays this, might be able to find a very good opening, but it's going to be about this lamp from Okita trying to stop that. But Luna actually starts out on the point here, leaving Joki kind of alone up top. And even though the pulse bomb comes out, it's still able to force out the lamp even though it gets no kills. And now that the minefield is here on point, it's going to be a very difficult position for Luna to be in, because now all the divers can just pressure onto Luna and there's nowhere for Luna to go. But they end up opting instead. They try and go for a push onto the backline, and Vegeta ends up getting Nano, not able to get the blade hit, but ends up pulling it out in the end. And it's going to find Crash in the backline, finds Okita as well, and now both are going down. Yeah, and now just everyone on point is able to get cleaned up here. And this is it's so difficult for the side of Grandmas, because they're bold. They want that more, stabilized fight. They want to have a set front line. They don't want to be spread out across the point, because their picks aren't as good individually. They're not as good at the 1v1ing, but the dive coming in from Beautiful Sights, able to just force those types of 1v1s. And with that blade at the end from the Genji on the side of Beautiful Sights, the Nano Blade comes in and really is just with the two picks onto the supports really just shuts down any chance of that defense. And now a 5-minute time bank for Beautiful Sights here. And if you're on the side of Grandma's got naded by a reindeer, you really need to switch something up here, right?
Yeah.
Because this Reinhardt, this Brawly comp just really is not working for you. You need to either try something a little bit cheese with going with a Symmetra here, right? Just TPing the point, or you just want to swap off. And it looks like they're actually going to be opting for that similar Winston Wrecking Ball dive. The dive is really good here, right? Because this is more of a chaotic dive. Right? Than the typical Winston Diva. It's not about isolating one target so much as it is that you send your Wrecking Ball in, just cause as much chaos as you can, and then you kind of just win out 1v1s. You kind of just win out by throwing yourself into the position, right? Because with that Wrecking Ball, with that Tracer, with this Echo, right, all very good 1v1 heroes. And as soon as you can throw the other team off their game, it makes it so easy to find that opening. And especially going into this Sigma Roadhog, Sig is so, so easy to actually get dived on here, right? With just getting a simple knockout from the Wrecking Ball is able to make Sig, just cannot really do much against this Winston, and this Echo just beams him down. But it looks like the Echo Mercy are both going to try and take this top right, but immediately the Mercy goes down. Mew actually finding the shot as the Ana, but Slinky not able to get out of that position. Reported able to catch Slinky out as he's trying to rotate down.
Oh, Joki saved their Bap's life by going in and looping the hog that had just hooked them.
Yeah, and Okita actually uses the lamp there to, keep themselves alive even through that Roadhog. But now the Roadhog of Streets is just kind of played very far up, ends up using the self-healing, so not going to have that for a second. But in goes Luna and Joki to try and find Mew, and they're going to get it with the help of Reported. but Luna ends up dying to the Sigma, but you can't see me still able to find out this Zen. Another aren't going to be any supports for the side of Beautiful Sight, but they don't need them as Slinky is able to kill Okita and Reported actually dies to the rock from the Sigma. And out flies Crash. Crash just trying to heal up Joki here, trying to keep them alive. They might be able to find a stabilize, but Slinky finds another nice couple of shots. And on the side here, you actually see Zilstro gonna try and kill You Can't See Me, but you know that Doom into Echo matchup not very favorable. You Can't See Me just gonna chill on top of this roof here, gonna actually end up flying out to safety with the team. And now we're gonna be facing. You have that you have the window and the pulse bomb on the side of Grandma's here. Gonna see if they can get anything done with it, but immediately they're gonna get fluxed essentially in their own spawn. But the lamp comes out from Akita, keeps everybody safe, so not much is gonna come out of that. And in comes the window here, gonna be used mainly to just keep Luna alive, as Luna is able to kill Leroy. And now here comes the copy. You Can't See Me now onto the Sigma, gonna be farming up this Sigma very quickly, and Reported killing Zistro. Now out comes the Sig Flux, but two more die on the side of Grandma. And even though the Flux is able to find Slinky, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Joki able to actually get res, brought back into the fight, drops the mines on point. And now the Sigma caught out very alone, and Reported able to just find those shots through. But Streets is actually going to be looking for the kill into You Can't See Me, brings You Can't See Me very low. But in comes the help from the Sigma, actually able to find the hook onto the Discorded Mercy. And that's going to be a kill. Luna is still just trying to fight this Roadhog, but the Roadhog getting pocketed by the Zen. Only going to be able to take it out by that beam. And now the Zen's going to be dropping Transcendence on the point, going to keep them alive for a while. And Z-Stro punches Luna off the map. Z-Stro able to find Joki as well, so now no tanks, but ends up falling into that pulse bomb after the uppercut. Reported still on the point here. Going to be trying to find the kill under the roar. Going to be able to get it. And now it's just Slinky, but Slinky is able to take out You Can't See Me. But Reported finishes up the kill, and now it's going to be Beautiful Sights capping the point. A super messy fight there, you know, both teams trading back and forth. But, you know, eventually the respawn advantage coming out from the attacker is going to be able to push Grandma naded over the edge. But they're not going to be able to look for another fight like that on point B because, you know, very typical of 2CP, those long trading fights aren't going to work against the second point defense. And now we're going to see, you know, Beautiful Sights opting to set up on this high ground here. Going to be really good, especially for that high noon. Not much that can really counter it. But Luna's gonna start out main. You can't see me trying to pressure them off a little patio up top. But this Roadhog is patrolling this right side, stopping Reported from being able to really find any kind of nice, you know, pathing to get a flank here. Now Joki tries to swing in, ends up missing the swing up top. But, you know, Luna's gonna be able to find it. Mew actually decides to chill out on this patio. Gonna be able to sleep Luna, you know, keeps that Ana alive. And Ana's eventually gonna die, but, you know, the little bit of extra time there is super impactful. Able to keep their tanks, you know, more healthy for the fight, and You Can't See Me ends up losing the duplicate that they took. And Z-Stro now onto the supports, kills Okita, who doesn't have that lamp up, and it is now gonna find, you know, the Seismic Slam just chasing down this Mercy. But on this right side of point, you can see trades coming out. Joki able to find the roar, but it's not gonna mean much because everyone else on the side of their team has fallen, and especially with both supports and now Reported going down, they're gonna have to reset here. And no ults actually invested from the side of Beautiful Sight to save that fight. And while it was only the copy coming out from, you know, You Can't See Me, now I'm gonna actually swap over onto the Ashe. This puts, you know, Grandma's in such a difficult position because, yeah, you have a lot of ultimates, but so does Beautiful Sights, and they can just keep trading these ultimates out. All they need to find is a couple of picks and just, you know, stabilize on point, and they're gonna be able to get those respawns back. But the Roadhog actually Streets very far in the backline here, but gonna be able to find Luna with the ultimate. That's definitely gonna be rezzed up. Although, not sure if Crash actually has the cooldown. You know, it looks like Crash actually isn't going to offer this res here. And now with Reported going down, you know, Reported is actually going to be the one receiving the res here. But, you know, still, you end up, you know, you trade that Valkyrie, you trade it for the Roadhog ultimate. Both not super impactful ultimates here. But, you know, now we're going to start entering into this phase of the fight. You know, the support's actually playing very far back here. Probably expecting this dive to come out onto this top right side, and maybe, you know, baiting them to either, you know, go up top right, leave the supports alive, which they end up doing. But in comes a Flux here, but Luna is gonna actually go into the Primal Rage, give so much extra HP, not gonna, so that, you know, Luna's gonna be able to sustain through it. And Reported actually misses the pulse bomb and goes down. Just Reported not gonna be alive in this fight here, and, you know, in come the ultimate trades, but Beautiful Sight still has more ultimates as well as are now pushing their tanks far close to this to the spawn of grandmas, able to just find 2 picks, and now, you know, the Sigma here able to actually rock report it, just keeping themselves alive. But this Winston going on here, especially with a hack, not going to be able to live for long. But with the Mega Pack and now with the supports just pocketing down main, the Sigma is actually going to be able to get out, and Leroy is actually able to find Luna, and reported goes down. Joki ends up getting res, but they're still not going to be able to take this fight, and the tank is just pushing even farther here. Essentially in the spawn of grandmas at this point, and grandmas needs to be able to do something, maybe look for a C9, but it actually looks like that's what Joki is going to be trying to do here. Joki just all the way in the backline, but you know, the supports are actually still on point B for Beautiful Sights. It's just the tanks that have pushed up. But now Streets actually is going to go down. Luna ends up getting taken out, but I'm not sure if the res is going to be available here, and the lamp has already been used. Joki is able to touch the point, and Okita uses the window, but Joki goes down. And now with a nice rock, Okita not going to be able to touch here. Bob just going to be sent into the point in a desperate attempt for someone to stay alive. But Slinky able to take out both reported and the Bob. And now you can't see me just in the last ditch attempt after the Bob goes down. I'm going to try and touch. Luna is going to be able to get back. But gets slipped through, not going to be able to touch. Joki is going to come in and able to get the pile driver off. And Luna actually able to take out the Sigma here. And now in comes the Doom. Doom is able to take out Luna. Joki goes down, and now no one is actually going to be able to touch on the side of Grandma's got naded from a reindeer. And that's going to be the second map going over to Beautiful Sights. And now it's going to put them up 2-0 in the series. And you know, we have this first to 3 style in this bracket, meaning that this is the last chance for grandmas, right? Like, they lose this next map coming up, it's over. Like, that's their tournament run, and we would be seeing Beautiful Sights advancing onto the finals to face Winter Pulse. So really stressful situation to be in on the side of the side of grandmas, right? Like this is it, right? You have to turn it up this next map. You have to do something to really bring it back here so that you can, to actually have a chance, right? And if I'm on the side of grandmas, I'm really, forcing this discussion of what can we do about this Sigma on the other team, because the Sigma hog composition just so dominant here, right? Such great mechanics come out for the Sigma. Just they're able to push into the spawn, right? Essentially on Hanamura, which you rarely ever see. Those second point those second point defenders leaving that temple stage to actually go out into that open area. But the Sigma just no fear, just charges forward and has the mechanics to back it up.
But with our quick break we'll be taking, we'll like to get a few shout-outs. First off, let's talk about Origin Rift. Origin Rift is an esports organization that looks to better ourselves while also trying to be the difference in the community that we want to see. If you're wanting a community like that, check us out. Camwork tonight is actually provided by one of the workers at Origin Rift. So thanks, Origin Rift.
We also have Excalibur Knights, which is we also actually have Champria is going to be the next shout out here. And Champria is it's a scrim scheduler, and it's a web platform that automatically finds scrims for different esports teams, as well as provides a couple of recruitment tools to help you find the top talent.
And yeah, with that, we'll be taking a bit of a break, so we'll be back in a little bit.
Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of our semi-final here in the Goats and Pros Winter Cup. Um, right now, we have Grandma got naded by a reindeer versus Beautiful Sight. And so far in the series, Beautiful Sight able to take those first two maps, putting themselves in a position to, maybe take the series here on this third map of King's Row. So we're gonna see what happens as we're about to load the map here. And so the King's Row pick
Now
here
entering
in terms of map
King's
actually
Row.
a little bit going to be very interesting because we've
Initiating
seen
match.
this is going to be a map pick from the side of Grandma's, and we've seen them trying to favor this Reinhardt, right? They're trying to put Luna um on this Reinhardt pick, which seems to be just Luna's most comfortable. And so you know King's Row, often known as the birth, Scrim's Row, or the birthplace of Brawl, um
Ready for battle.
gonna be a great map to actually do that. And you can see immediately on the defense here, Luna is gonna be rolling out on this Reinhardt, and they're gonna be playing this very brawly, Reaper McCree type DPS line, right? They're gonna want to
Attackers
basically
incoming
get up in
in
the
30
face of
seconds.
Beautiful Sight, and just immediately boom them with a lot of damage and just a lot of tankiness and a lot of sustain. But on the side of Beautiful Sight, they're actually not going to be opting into this, brawl v brawl matchup, which we typically see on this map, and instead they're going to be sticking with this Sigma Wrecking Ball composition. Actually, going to be putting Slinky, back in the Genji.
3, 2,
Um, Slinky,
1.
on the first map with a massive
Attackers
4K blade, maybe going to be looking for
incoming.
another one of
Defend
those.
objective A.
Or actually, no. Now Slinky onto the Widow and Zestrel on the Genji, making a little bit of a swap up here. But immediately, Al gonna be pushing out down the choke, gonna be using shield, but Streets ends up swinging in, gets stunned by the flashbang, and gets taken low enough where the lamp is actually forced to be invested from Leroy. And now with no lamp here, it looks like Luna is just gonna actually be going for a flank run through this hotel. They're gonna be looking to try and find a kill, but reported able to find Zestrel. Now one of the DPS gonna be down. And now, even though Joki is far out on the flank here, gonna be a little bit, not gonna be able to get caught out of the position, and Crash actually able to get you with a nice whip shot. And now this is actually going to be Grandma just kind of stabilizing here, but Streets goes down actually a little bit late, caught out in the back line, reported just finding that shot. And now, yeah, this is going to be a full reset from the side of Beautiful Sights. But Luna here actually wants to push this advantage, and they're going to actually end up getting the lamp forced out from Lokita. Now this is going to be a little bit risky because they're not going to have that for this next fight, but Streets immediately stunned. But in comes the Flux here. Just about a minute for the Flux, and down go two immediately out with a massive Flux, sees that that lamp was invested early, and just, all the opportunity in the world. An early lamp loot usage like that just can't really, it can't happen, right? Lamp is such an impactful ability right now, especially with all of these ultimates that you're going to be seeing even in the next fight with this blade coming up from the side of Beautiful Sight. You can't afford to, lose that lamp without, getting something else forced out for it. Right? And you can
I'll
see
take advantage of that, and also the use of the bubbles before the fight even started as well.
yeah, Al just, perfectly seeing what cooldowns we use, perfectly just timing that Flux to be able to find those early two kills, and now Zestrel just kind of being let loose here, able to find two, picking up Crash with the Swift Strike. And now they're going to be pushing out right to the end of the second point. They're going to be leaving, Leroy on point to be pushing it on the Baptiste. And they're just putting the space here, right? They don't want to allow Grandma to be able to push up to those earlier chokes on this point, those earlier corners, without paying for it. And now with 5 ultimates, they're going to be able to look for an early team fight here. And Streets just dropping the mines up in front here. Joki going to try and get some extra charge, but gets taken on slightly low, and in comes the high noon from Slinky, but not going to be able to find much as Okita, using a lamp, and everyone else just able to hide behind a little more. And now Luna finally able to start pushing in, has a shatter here, is able to find a massive 3-man shatter, but just starts swinging in, able to kill Aurora off of it, but no one else dies. And now Luna here taking down really low, but out comes the blade, but immediately gets grabbed, and you can't see me just in the back with the Reaper ultimate, able to find two more. And now this fight's actually going to be going into the side of Grandma's got naded, and the number of ultimates used from Beautiful Sight there, not able to actually convert into a win. You can see the Nano Blade gets used, but an amazing grab from Joki not only catches the Genji, but is able to catch a bunch more. And everyone who wasn't caught in the grab is facing a Reaper, using that Death Blossom in the backline. And no one able to really help them because, like I said, they're all caught up there in that Graviton Surge. Makes it so easy, and an early flux coming in here from Al. The lamp is actually going to be in this time, but it's still going to take everybody pretty low, and they're just going to push past this window. And now the window's gone. There are no more ultimates on the side of Grandma, but there still is going to be this window here. And as they start pushing it, but Streets actually ends up going down, but Reported ends up getting traded out. And in comes that window. A lot of damage is going to be able to be pumped forward, and Lunicure immediately gets taken really low, and Zistro able to take them out. Al just pushing forward, able to take out Crash, but now this Reaper is just trying to look for anything to try and get picks to pull it back, but not going to be able to find it. Has to Wraith Walk out here, and Okita ends up getting sniped by Mio on the Ana. Just no real defense going to be able to get put up by Grandma's here on the second point. After that first, little hold, just immediately gets pushed back in. Zistro being able to find, a lot of picks on this Genji. And with Mew and Laura just keeping their team up there with a nice window, to really pressure out Luna, there's not much which Grandma's could do to like stay alive. Now in goes Streets, immediately gonna get stunned here, but drops the mines behind it. Now Luna is split. Luna and Crash are split from the rest of their team, and Luna is gonna die for it. Zistro actually pulling out the Nano Blade here after killing Luna. But in comes the grab as well, but they have the lamp there, so it's not gonna be able to do anything. But Reported able to find Zistro with that high noon. Peeks the corner a little bit early, might have thought that them created canceled it, but Slinky does not care whether or not his Genji is dead. Able to find 2 picks here. Street's still very far in the back line, gets taken down half, but just gonna back up to get healed, but not actually gonna make it as the Reaper is there waiting for him. And now this is gonna be a 6 versus 5 up to the side of 6 versus 5 for the side of Grandma's, but Beautiful Sight making a really smart decision to just not take that fight. Zistro ends up going down, but they just completely back out, and now there's the rally and the window. Right? They're gonna have this Shatter and this Death Blossom here, which is still gonna be 2 very impactful ultimates, but they went from having 4 down to only having 2, but now Zistro able to actually take out Luna before much can happen, and the Shatter was dropped in, but it's only gonna lead to Luna's own demise, and Slinky able to actually take out Crash with the Deadeye. They're just pushing forward, but You Can't See Me just waiting in the backline, waiting to find the Death Blossom, ends up dropping it, gets bubbled, is able to find the Ana and the McCree, both of them. Wraith walks out, able to escape with his life, and now You Can't See Me finding a third off the ball, and Luna is back onto the point, gonna return this tank presence. And now Okita just able to keep everybody sustained here, and they're just gonna hold on to this point. You Can't See Me with another amazing Reaper ult, just goes in the back line, doesn't trigger it too early, waits for the perfect timing, just drops in, able to take out 2, and a nice bubble coming in from Joki to really keep that Reaper alive throughout that Reaper ultimate. But in comes Al with this flux, but Reported actually able to take out Slinky here, but Street trades onto his tank counterpart of Joki. And now it's just gonna be all of Beautiful Sight's pushing forward. Leroy actually able to take out Luna here, and in comes the Nano Blade into the backline, able to take out Crash, but goes down. You Can't See Me kills the Nano Blade, but they're not gonna be able to touch. And Beautiful Sight is gonna be able to cap all 3 points with just about a minute and a half left on the time bank.
Score.
And
0 to 3.
even though there were a couple of times when Beautiful Sight ends up getting stalled out here, a minute 23 is still a very respectable time bank to be going into extra rounds with. If they're even pushed that far, if the thing is, right, Grandma now put in a really bad position, because to keep their chances of winning this map alive, not only do they have to full cap, but they have to full cap with time, right? And if they aren't able to complete that full cap, then they lose, and that's it. That's the series, right? Ends right there. Beautiful Sights is going to be moving on to face Winter Pulse. But even if they are able to full cap, but they don't finish with time, they're not going to get that second attack, and then there's going to be a little over a minute for Beautiful Sights to just push for that win. But even if they don't, it's still only a draw. Would be the best case scenario. So they need to finish this with time here if they want any chance of actually winning this map. And even though a draw would mean that the series continues on longer, I don't think a longer series is what you really want to favor here. I think you really just want to pick up these 3 next maps, get that reverse sweep, and just get it over with. Because as soon as you start pushing too many maps, that's when player fatigue starts to come in, and that's going to be a real issue, especially for the winning team who has to play a match just 30 minutes afterwards. But Zistro actually waiting here with the Mei wall is gonna not actually able to. The Mei wall gets placed a little bit off center and not gonna be able to keep them from rotating through. And now this Mei is actually gonna get caught out, but is able to be kept alive. Streets here also being kept alive by the lamp and gonna get the pin onto Luna. And now Slinky's finding Crash. They're just gonna be able to. They're not gonna be able to push forward on the side of Grandma's, and they're just gonna be here at this choke. Very, very dangerous position for that Mei to be in, but gonna be able to be kept alive, especially with a nice pin from Streets to actually take out Luna. Takes a lot of attention away from that Mei and puts it onto Luna, and a nice lamp comes out from Mew to keep Streets alive. But Zistro on the Mei not actually able to survive long for this world, and neither is Streets, as both of them going very far. Streets getting counterpinned, and now, there's not much of a chance here on the side of Beautiful Sights to recontest this, especially not with Mew going down and that High Noon just zoning off the point. Now they're just gonna hold here, and it doesn't look like there's gonna be any kind of contest. They're gonna wait for Mew. They're gonna try and hold early, either at Bookstore or at Arch. Mew getting that closer spawn, gonna be able to regroup with them sooner, but there's still gonna be this window here, and with that McCree and a Reaper, if you place that window very close, that can be a lot of damage. But again, they're facing off into around 5 ultimates here, coming in from Beautiful Sights. And this is such a nice place to hold at this point, right here at these arches, you funnel everybody into this little kill box, and this Flux can just do so much. And Zistro, and in comes this Flux, actually able to take a Reported before even dropping them down. And with Okita and Reported both going down, as well as Joki here, this is going to be the end of the fight. Luna just ends up pinning in to try and see if they can find anything, but Al is going to take them out. And now you can see Slinky just pushing up a little bit around this hotel flank, maybe trying to see if they can get a little bit of a stagger pick. Gonna just give up on that idea. A little bit too risky there, right? Especially because you still have 4 ultimates. You're still very far ahead in ultimate economy. You don't want to give away a little bit of a risky play like that. And now we're actually gonna see Grandma's pushing into this Blizzard here. And Blizzard's such an impactful ultimate, just freezes everybody in place, stops them from being able to use their abilities if you can keep them in it long enough. But actually it's not going to be the Blizzard eventually gets invested, but only after 2 other ultimates, and the Blizzard's going to be able to take out Joki and freezes so many more in the backline. But Ingo 3 ultimates invested, just not, even though they had the lamp from Okita, it's not going to sustain you through, the early window going to be putting a bunch of damage, and then in comes that Shatter, and then finally they just finish it off with that Blizzard, right? That lamp can only survive for so long. It can only cover so much distance, and with so many impactful ults, so many fight-winning ultimates invested there from the side of from the side of Beautiful Sights, Grandma's is not going to be able to sustain through it. But finally they have a fight where they actually have the ultimate advantage, having 2 here. But Slinky is actually going to look for this time coming in from the back. But You Can't See Me immediately rocked out of his ultimate, and Slinky able to find that pick. And even though the grab comes in, the lamp is actually dead from Okita, but the lamp is still alive, I believe. It's still able to be used from Mew. And it might actually, but actually doesn't look like it's going to be able to, because Luna actually finds the Shatter on a Mew in the backline. Luna ends up going down, and so does Streets, but Mew ends up taking a headshot from Reported. And now you can see Beautiful Sights still just trying to hold the line here, but the Symmetra now setting up on point. You Can't See Me just setting up those turrets. And now as they're trying to push in, Crash gets taken out very low, but it's going to be kept alive by the lamp from Okita. Now going to have the rally here if they want to invest it into this fight. And it looks like Grandma is just going to be given space here, as the respawns come in. The wall's going to get used, but not going to be able to split anyone off. And Streets goes in very deep, not going to be able to get kept alive. Lunakier just swinging through the other Reinhardt. And now the Mei going to be looking to try and take some kind of a flank here, but not really going to do much as Slinky dies to his counterpart of the McCree. Reported just going to be chasing down this Mei. Mei just caught in the backline, not going to be able to do much. Maybe going to be able to contest, but I don't even think that much is going to be possible. And now this Mei is probably just going to get staggered out here in the backline. Gonna just chuck the Blizzard and able to actually find You Can't See Me inside of it. And Luna actually gets bubbled away from it. You Can't See Me goes down after getting frozen. Zistro just pushes onto the point, gets taken out by Okita. And as Al falls to Luna, this is a very even fight here. And in goes the Reinhardt of Streets, but Streets is going to end up getting taken down. And Reported finds the shots onto Mew. It's just Slinky left on the point, and Joki is going to be able to take him out. And now we're going into this third point, 3 minutes and 20 seconds on the time bank for Grandma's. And they have a chance to finish this map with time. They have a chance to get a respectable time bank. And they have a chance, to really carry on this momentum to win this map. But now you can see, Streets swapping onto the Roadhog here. They didn't like that Sigma pick, but in comes Al immediately with a Flux. But it actually ends up lifting up Reported for the high noon onto Mew, and Reported is able to find Al as well, but Streets finding Okita with a hook off of the map into the backline, but Reported and You Can't See Me just holding up the damage in front, and Joki is still there as well. The Doomfist from Z-Strom is not going to be able to work, and now it's just going to be this high noon from Slinky. Gonna try and see if Slinky can find anything on the opening here, but they can't even touch. At 2 minutes and 33, an even better time bank coming out from Grandma's, and this is going to be a map. We're gonna see these extra rounds. We're gonna see it, really pushing here, and now we're gonna see both teams getting a second attack, getting a second chance here to really try and take this map for their own. On the side of Beautiful Sight, they're trying to just take this series. They're trying to just push themselves into those grand finals, and on the side of Grandma's, they're just trying to hold on for a little bit longer, trying to start that reverse sweep here. These extra rounds are going to be, this is going to very well decide the series, and we can see a lower time bank by about 1 minute and 10 seconds, lower of a time bank from Beautiful Sights. They're going to be trying to push into this, Brawly comp again, coming out from Grandma's, and this was a comp that actually did very well in holding them that first time on this point A attack, right? This Reinhardt and You Can't See Me on the Reaper just pulling off some really nice plays here, right? So much damage, just able to do so much with the ultimates. And it's going to be so difficult for Beautiful Sights to actually get much, going here. They want to rely on those ultimates. They want to rely on that Flux. They want to rely on that Nano Blade. But they're not going to be able to build... They might not be able to build them up in time, although Al now actually going to be opt for the Zarya. Going to try and get a lot of charge off of Streets here, early on, but Streets actually gets stunned early and no bubble as he cuts line of sight with the Zarya and just immediately bursted down, Crease stun, Brig stun, just so much damage. And now Al and the Z-Stro gonna be just trying to hold near this hotel here. They're not gonna be able to push in, and now Streets switching over to the Reinhardt realizes that Wrecking Ball might not be the best option now with those shield nerfs into 2 really good stuns. And so now they're just going to be pushing up here. They're just going to take her on the bend, and Slinky actually able to find his shot into Joki. Joki swung out a little bit too far away from that corner. And now there's going to be so much more damage because the Zarya of Al is still going to be alive. Crash is staying alive on point, and Luna ends up going down to the Fire Strike. Slinky able to take out Crash here and just, supports keeping everybody up on the side of Beautiful Sights. But Z-Stro actually ends up going down from a nice couple of shots and a melee from Reported. But it's just going to be Beautiful Sights taking this point here. They're not going to get full held. They're going to be able to cap. And especially with some of these late picks, the second point defense might be a little bit late. It depends on whether Reported gets good spawns, and it's going to be close, but Reported is going to get those better spawns. Probably going to be able to look for a fight up here. At this frontal shop, they're going to push it all the way to Bookstore, and in comes the lamp. Going to actually find the pick on a Mew with the lamp up, but Slinky just says, no, you will not use that lamp. Ends up high nooning, but gets taken down super low. No one able to kill him, though, but Joki ends up finding Streets, and Luna just pushing forward, and looks like they're going to stop this point here, but the Nano actually gets traded over onto Genji, and Genji ends up popping over the Shadow Ring, gonna pull out the blade, but not sure if they're gonna be able to touch. Genji not able to get much with this Dragon Blade. Z-Stro not being able to find much with the Nano Blade, being forced to stay on the point, not actually able to go for what they wanted to. And now Streets is just in a desperate attempt, gonna be swinging right on the point, but a massive grab coming in. Reported ends up going down, but Slinky and Streets both end up falling, and You Can't See Me just drops the Reaper on the point. Does so much damage. Crash able to find the final hand out, and no one else able to touch from the side of Beautiful Sights, and that's gonna be it for them, for their attack. They're still a very good attack given the amount of time that they had, right? They capped that first point. They pushed the point not very far, but at least just a little bit. It's even the smallest amount of distance matters. But really just a bit of a daring overextend there. They should have realized that Grandma's had those ultimates, had that ability to push back in. But they really just underestimated Grandma. Sent 5 people forward, and easy 5v6 with ultimate advantage for Grandmas is just they're able to find 3 picks, and then it gets thrown into a very scrappy fight on point, and it's gonna end up with Grandmas winning that fight, and now they've set themselves a win condition here, right? All they have to do is in these 2 minutes and 30 seconds win about 1 fight, and maybe a little bit more, although I don't think that a second contest after first point is capped is going to be super strong given how close this card is, how close this how close they need to push the cart, I should say. And
And
so,
as I've been saying before the map started, they've been trying to force this brawl all night. And when they finally start forcing it, they're finally getting some good progress. Finally capping, finally getting all this stuff. They could even win off of it just because they're out brawling them.
mm, yeah, and I mean, the Kings Row is such an amazing map pick, right? Like they knew what their strengths were, and they knew that their strengths were that brawl, and they knew that they had to force it, right? They knew that they had to play a map that was good for it, and it's might, like you said, end up bringing them the win here. But Beautiful Sight's not going to want that to happen, but Reported actually ends up going for a flank, but immediately gets caught by Owl. Going to get beamed a little bit before having to back up, and the lamp immediately used by Okita. Not going to be there to save Luna, and Luna ends up falling, and now it's just going to be Brig on point, but Brig ends up getting taken out by Crash, and Al finishing off, or the Brig of Crash ends up getting taken out, and Joki goes down to Al on the Zarya, and now you have this 100 charge Zarya just pushing forward, and with Slinky finding that headshot, they're just going to, make sure that no one really gets out of that fight. They're gonna farm up this ultimate, and now look at Al here with 80% or 80% already on the Graviton Surge. And I mean, if you're Grammars, you're really not gonna expect that. Like, just finding so much damage there, getting charged up early. Now, about to have a 1-minute grab here, and if Okita ends up, using that lamp a little bit early, like we've been seeing some of the Babs been doing in the series, like we've been seeing Okita doing in the series. But, Okita sends out the lamp, but the lamp goes down, but immediately a massive anti. Mew just finding the E, just sends it into the grab right as the shields are dropping and is able to get everybody right as that lamp falls. And they all just fall like dominoes on the side of Grandma's got naded. And, now they're going to have to push into this Nano Blade, the Shatter, and this High Noon. So many ultimates, as well as this window actually going to be coming up from Aurora here. And they're only going to have the window on High Noon of their own. This is getting a little bit risky here. It looks so good for that 2-minute and 30 timing, but Zestrel, really gonna try and do as much as he can with the blade. Pulls at the blade early. Blue to get able to fight two with his fire strike, but it does not matter. Zestrel, the backline, fights 2, 3 of his own, and with Streets cleaning up 2 others, that's gonna be a team wipe going in, and a massive window play coming up from Luna to find 2 picks with that fire strike. But Zestrel and Streets just are not gonna let this happen. They are not gonna go down without a fight. Pulls out the Dragon Blade, able to find 3 going into the backline, and Streets with a flank shatter gets 2 of their own.
The thing is, Grandma weakened their shatter as well, so this fight is only coming up with 1 ult. And it gets taken out.
Reported actually dies to Slinky in the High Noon, and Slinky pops the High Noon of his own. Gonna be on this high ground, gonna force up in the turnaround, and now Luna here, a massive anti coming out from Mew, able to set up for the kill onto Luna. And now Joki's just stranded on this point. Crash ends up getting slipped. Mew is just trying to keep themselves alive, but is gonna go a little bit too far into the point. Ends up getting that name to Joki, but Joki is just gonna cleanse it with the bubble. But now with the grab coming out from Al, gonna be able to kill Crash Joki. Now it's just gonna be the May alive on point. May gonna use the water to try and keep themselves alive as Luna is able to get back in time for the touch. But Luna, not long for this world, is gonna be taking so much damage. And this is it. There is gonna be no recontest for Grandmas, and it's gonna be Beautiful Sights moving on to our grand finals.
An amazing set by Beautiful, really taking advantage of their strengths as a team. After getting some new players in, absolutely dominating their last match, you can really see that they finally have confidence in themselves and it's really showing.
Yeah, just especially here with this play of the game, amazing play from Al. Sees that lamp used, sees those bubble used early, and goes for that flux. Takes that opportunity, and immediately it wins the fight for them entirely with those 2 early picks and just so much pressure. Just amazing.
But yeah, so with that, it's looking like Beautiful will be taking that and moving on to the grand finals against Walking in a Winter Pulse Bomb in about, I think, 30 minutes. That'll be happening. But before that, first we're gonna interview our match, and so just like a really couple really strong players coming out from Beautiful. Slinky and Ziestro both contributing a lot. Al as well. And honestly, like I'd want to pick Al, but
Her name's Chalky. Did I?
no, I'm calling them Al. You can't stop me. But so well, I'm thinking Al. What do you think, Lori? You're on the team and you're in here as well. What do you think?
Yeah, our Sigma play was great. The only problem is she doesn't feel comfortable
Yeah,
talking
she
on
doesn't
mic.
feel comfortable speaking English, but that's my problem. Yeah, with that.
You know,
Um,
someone who I think flew a little bit under the radar on this at a beautiful sight is Mew on that Ana, finding, just
True.
constant anti-nades, and Luna, constantly trying to force that Reinhardt, but Mew always able to just stud the nade through the shield, and as Reinhardt, as soon as you get like antied and you're not able to get healed, it's so easy for the other team to just push onto you, right? Just find that kill. So
I agree with that. Yeah, I think Mew would also be a good pick.
okay, well, I will go
yeah,
grab her. Just hold on 1 second.
all right.
We'll be getting Mew in here to have an interview with her as the player of the match, and then we'll in about 30 minutes after a short break of 30 minutes, we'll be getting on to the grand finals. Beautiful sight versus the undefeated walking in a winter pole spawn.
Hmm. Yeah, it should be an amazing match. Both teams showing a lot of promise, and they actually ended up facing off a little while ago. Last Friday, exactly a week ago, and that match actually ended up with Winter Pulse, taking it. And Beautiful Sight might is going to be looking for their revenge in this next upcoming match, and it should be very exciting to see. Are they actually going to be able to find it? And a revenge story in the finals is always fun, you know, because it gives both teams a little bit extra to play for. But it looks like we're gonna have Mew here. So Jedi, if you'd like to take away the interview.
Mew, your whole team honestly played extremely well. How do you feel about that?
Really good. I think we worked really well together, and it was a lot of fun too, which was really nice.
Yeah, it's obviously you guys have been bouncing back from what happened in your first match against Walking in Winter Pulse, beating I think it was Seasons Reaping on Monday, and coming in here and beating Grandma as well. You guys are really storming through. Is that to do with just like team morale in general? Is anybody specifically helping with that?
Yeah, we got a lot of new different players, and they're a lot more talkative, and it just really boosts morale just to like joke around and have fun while still playing and trying hard.
Do you think anybody on the enemy team was causing you guys any trouble? Anybody specifically leading to you dying, or any supports or any tanks just getting shredded?
Ooh, their DPS were doing a really good job, especially the hit scan, the McCree Reaper. You're doing really good of
Mhm.
like taking off angles and pressuring me and Leroy and getting us to have to like get help.
And how do you feel about playing Walking in a Winter Pulse Bomb again? This time it's basically a completely different team. How do you feel about playing them again?
I'm excited, and I'm more hopeful for this time because we're pumped, especially from winning right now. So
I'm extremely excited to finally see Walking in a Winter Pulse Bomb get pushed into actually maybe losing a map. But yeah, I'm excited to see that. Thanks for coming in here.
thank you.
All right. All right. So yeah, great game so far in this semifinal. Grandma got naded, gonna be knocked out of the tournament, and Beautiful Sight actually moving on to the grand finals here. But you can catch that grand final in about 30 minutes. We're gonna take a little bit of a break. Allow the players and casters and everyone involved to take a little bit of a rest after that very exciting game. So I'll see you then.